Hello and welcome back to the Stronghold. I'm the Magi, and today we are going to be taking our potentially first look at the jump in for the post-rotation reality. That means that any packets older than Bloomborough have been removed. As of right now, it looks like they are also keeping Final Fantasy as a separate event. Shocking though that is. So we'll be taking a look at all the new packs here, or at least how they fit in to the various metas of Jump In, ranking the rares, etc., etc. And of course, helping you figure out which packs that you should jump into and, well, which you should let pass by. But before we get into all that, allow me to take a moment for some real talk. You're most likely here at the Stronghold because you've taken notice of the value-oriented content that I make. It may seem out of this world, but the truth is mid-range channels like this only make it thanks to viewer support. The reality is YouTube simply doesn't do enough ad share profit sharing to cover even basic cost of operations for a channel like mine. I've never envisioned the Stronghold as a way to make money, but having it reach a level of self-sufficiency would be really nice. And hey, I'm all about value, and that effort doesn't fall short in my Patreon. For as little as a $1 a month pledge, you get access to additional content, analysis, and tools, as well as a shout out in most every YouTube video I produce. The list and draft analysis alone could easily add $1 or more to your collection every month. Best of all, your support goes right back into the channel and the expanding content I produce. There's a link to my Patreon page in the description below, so I'd appreciate it if you take a moment and check it out. Every bit of support, no matter how small, makes a huge difference to our future. Thanks so much for your time and consideration. Now, what were we talking about? Oh yeah, right. So one of the questions that I get asked a lot is, why jump in? And in order to answer that, I have to give a little bit of an economics lesson. You see, it's really about comparing what you can get for 1,000 gold. And the basic comparison is buying a pack, in which case you get between 1.15 and 1.6 rares, depending upon how you think about golden packs. You get no card selection whatsoever when you buy a pack. You just get whatever's in it. But you do also get pack protection, so you won't end up duplicating or getting a 5th rare in that circumstance. Jump In, on the other hand, gives you not 1, but 2 full rares, or maybe upgrade to Mythic, guaranteed. You also get about 3 times the number of commons and uncommons. You do get some selection as opposed to no selection with packs, because you do get to choose which jump-in packet you want to go with. And as kind of a benefit for newer players, there is a smaller number of options available in jump-in, so there's less expertise. And a lot of that we're going to cover right here in this video moving forward. So all in all, you get 2 to 2.5 times the overall value from spending 1,000 gold on Jump In, as opposed to spending 1,000 gold and buying a pack. So how does Jump In work, you might be asking yourself? The entire concept of Jump In is to take all the difficulty out of deck building. And really, it couldn't be much simpler because you're just making 2 choices. Your first choice, you're going to be shown 3 packs or mini decks. And with that, you're going to be given an image that is a little bit of a clue. A name, which is generally your biggest clue as to what the theme of the deck is, and of course there's always an indication of the color associated with that pack. And all you do if you scroll over each of the decks, it will also show you a key card to show you a little bit more mechanically what is going on thematically with that deck. And all you do is click on the one that you want, and then down in the bottom right hand corner you hit confirm pack to lock in that first choice. At that point, the screen updates and it shows you whatever your first choice was on the very far left-hand side of the screen, and then it's going to present to you 3 additional choices, the idea here being just the same. You get the same context clues and you click on and confirm pick for your second choice. At that point, the decks are going to shuffle together. Some fairly appropriate land is going to be added, although honestly the land algorithm that they use is not always awesome. And at that point you have a playable deck for the event. When I'm doing evaluations, I like to use what I lovingly refer to as the Eastwood rating system, breaking your choices down into 3 easy categories: the good, the bad, and the ugly. In order for a choice to get a rating of good, it's got to be above the moving average of all of the available choices. The bad, however, is actually still generally a playable option, so to speak, being within 1 standard deviation mathematically of having been a good choice. The ugly, however, is everything else that is left. It's not good. It's not even bad. These are the ugly choices that generally aren't even worth our time. I arrive at these scores by evaluating the individual cards in the pack, both the rares and mythics, as well as the commons and uncommons. Secondly, I like to look at how well the pack theoretically supports any existing budget deck archetypes that we've been developing. And of course, we try and factor in if this packet helps you unlock additional formats like Brawl or Historic. So now let's talk about this season's packs and how it affected the pool overall. Alright, so you guys are going to have to forgive me while I math nerd out on you here a little bit. The odds against failure, in other words, the percent chance that you're going to get something you needed out of these packs, went up by over 11%. And that's exactly what you expect to see after a rotation, because we're dumping a bunch of packs that you probably already have the cards for and adding packs that you don't have the cards for. And of course that happens bigger here at rotation than it does anywhere else. The rest of the year we will just be adding packs and not taking any away. Overall, Edge of Eternities dropped the average deck score by 0.2. It went from an average score of 5 down to a 4.8. And standard deviation stayed at a 1.9. The overall net result of that, if you would, is that Edge of Eternities actually lowered the overall expectation by 0.1%. So not a great set to start off the post-rotation here, and let's talk about why. Now, normally I break these tier lists down and I'll talk about the ugly decks, and then we'll talk about the good and the bad. But as you can see here, there's not a lot of differentiation here. Almost everything is tier 2, or as I like to put it, bad, but still playable. In fact, the only tier 1 that I was able to give is the red-green Wayfaring deck with a score of 6.5. And if you were paying attention in the last slide, you'd know it actually takes a 6.7 mathematically to qualify for good under this data set. But really, I think this deck is very good, and it won't surprise me at all if mathematically it ends up earning those last couple points once we know a little bit more about the individual packs and the cards represented within them. On the flip side of things, there's also only 2 ugly or pretty unplayable packs. That's the Mono Red Artifacts and the Mono Blue Cosmic. Neither of which have I seen a lot of, so it wouldn't surprise me at all if maybe those end up a little bit higher than they currently are. But the other 7 of the 10 packs all fall in that tier 2 category, ranging from 3 with Void all the way up to 6 with the White-Black Pyrrhic deck. And, well, that's just an unusual data set, really. You'll also notice that all the 2-color decks are rated higher than all of the monocolor decks. Again, as we see more data on this and maybe find out the second rares and stuff like that for some of these, that may shift around. Also, some interesting things going on with the mythics. The 2-color decks all seem to have a free bonus mythic planet land card in them, while the monocolor decks all seem to have a pretty typical, I'm guessing 20% chance of upgrade to a specific mythic, not all of which have we seen yet. And of course that leads into another good point. The fact is, the Stronghold needs your help. So if you're playing this jump-in event, or the apparently still separate Final Fantasy jump-in event, and see anything that isn't listed in the spreadsheet, whether that's a pack, a rare, a mythic, whatever, comment down on this video. Let me know what's going on so we can update the data, and that way everyone makes better informed decisions. And hey, it's just one of those many ways that we are stronger together as budget players. So thank you in advance for your observations and assistance. Wait, what's that you said? You didn't catch all that? Well, no worries, because there's a link down in the doobly-doo that will take you to the spreadsheet that I use to power this analysis for this video. But what you need to make sure you do is go into File and make yourself a copy. That way you can go in and make it all your own, whether you disagree with my analysis, results, or techniques, or maybe you just don't like my choices in colors and fonts. You can make it all your own. This spreadsheet is powered through Google Sheets because it is, well, free, and that's a lot of what we do here. Not to mention it can be utilized by pretty much anyone, anywhere, without any weird copyright issues or having to pay royalties for the software. So enjoy. And of course, I want to take this opportunity to thank my supporting patrons, because being a small content creator comes with big bills. And I just couldn't do everything that I do without their monthly support. Thanks, guys. And of course, if you enjoyed this video and found it helpful in your arena experience, we have a few suggestions for what you could watch next.